So somehow, Prafulla ji, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, that there is a civilizational awakening in Bharat today, that everybody is seeing what we did not see for the last 100 years, what we turned a blind eye to, what kind of a danger we face from across our neighborhood. And within India, you do not have just a common man, but you have poets, you have scholars, you have Muslim leaders who are showing a wave of sympathy for the Taliban. What are your comments on this?
See, one of the important Khilafat leaders was Abdul Bari. Abdul Bari had a strong communist leanings. He was in Germany. In fact, Bari brothers were known to be the main players who brought in this Tablighi Wahhabi form of Islamism in India. And he was the one who actively played a role in endorsing a fatwa in favor of non-cooperation and Khilafat. It was published as the unanimous fatwa of the Indian ulema. Now, this is a very important document for two reasons. One, what it says. It says, as for cooperation with Hindus, the fatwa stated, it was permissible to have political alliances and friendly relations with non-Muslims who were not hostile to Islam and Khilafat. Two, Muslims may even take the advice of such friendly non-Muslims, but the leadership of an infidel over Muslims is never permitted. So Gandhi is not our leader. It was very clear. Non-cooperation is not our main purpose. We are fighting against British because they are Christians and they have destroyed our caliphate. They have destroyed the position of Khalifa. And that's why the fight. Now, during this period, there is another important thing came here. And Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, the Ali brothers,
Yes.
They visited Madras province just before Moplah riots, and they came up because they tried to get in touch with the Afghan Sultan that time, and he actually created this narrative. He gave an inflammatory speech, and he said the Amir of Afghanistan would come to help them in their revolt. If we start revolt all over India, Amir of Afghanistan will come to our rescue. And when it happened actually in Kerala, it started with one mosque called Tirurangadi. This mosque was searched by the British police for searching some Khilafat leaders who had given inflammatory speeches. Now the rumors on the one hand was spread that this mosque is being desecrated and destroyed. So this was the starting point. On 20th August, this was the starting point. And
Right.
soon, along with that, the idea of revolt against the British was there, but the targets were clearly Hindus.
Yes.
And at the same time, this sentiment was spread that ultimately the idea of caliphate is going to be revived from this land. And Afghanistan, the present day Afghanistan area, is going to play a key role. Now, as per the Islamic theology, this land of Khorasan, which spreads from Jammu Kashmir region to almost Iraq, plays a very important role in this entire narration, because as per the interpretation of Hadith, this land is going to play the ultimate battle. The final battle for global Islam is going to be fought in this area. And whoever is ruling this is going to be the global Khalifa. And that's why you see whether with this during the Moplah riots or present avatars of Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Taliban, you find this significance of this region. This has become a battleground throughout for the supremacy. So this is basically the Islamist supremacist idea,
Right.
which is playing a critical role. And that is why that time also many scholars and poets, leaders were unashamed about it. The fake, idea of secularism that we adopted, where we assume that appeasing one community or communal sentiment is the hallmark of secularism.
Right.
Promoting communal sentiments and identity on the pan-Islamic consideration at the cost of national sentiments or nationalism has become the hallmark of secularism. And that's why I said, when Congress adopted this as the main project, it became a problem, because since then we find more and more communal sentiments. Fortunately, if you see carefully, there has been a silent uprising of the civilizational ethos, where Hindus, irrespective of caste or way of worship, are saying that this is essentially a land, a geocultural identity of Sindhu Saraswati civilization,
Yes.
which has a unique way of seeing relationship between human beings. For this land, the thought that always to be true and accepted from Arya Samaj, Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo. Then you see the similar kind of thing during the formation of Vishwa Hindu Parishad and entire movement for Ram Janmabhoomi. That this symbolism and this idea that this is a civilizational ethos, which is really for contention. And if this fake secularism has divided our land once, now we cannot afford to do that. So everybody who is part of this land should accept that we have got a common culture, and we have to respect and accept each other's identity and way of worship. This is not just multiculturalism. This is much beyond that. This is ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. The truth is one, but there can be many ways to reach to that truth, and all ways should be accepted and respected. This is the fundamental thought that is behind this civilizational awakening, and that is what we need to take forward, so that any narrow-minded supremacist attitude in any sect, any religious identity is not tolerated in this land of where multiple ways to reach to the same truth was celebrated. Ours is a land of spiritual democracy, where we are allowed to choose our own way, to find our own God, and that should be celebrated. If somebody is saying my way is the only way, then that is un-Indian way. That has to be categorically told. And I'm glad that in society there are many people who are coming forward and saying this openly.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.